as you say, you got started in your home country, Germany, around 1991 or 92.
Oh, let me see. I was 16, so 92.
92. And how long before you go into your first CWA tent tour with Otto Wanz?
Pardon me again?
So, how long was it before, let's say, your debut to going on the tent tours for Otto Wanz?
Okay. Well, that actually was CWA.
Yeah.
My first debut in Wuppertal, Germany was for CWA. And the following year, I think they already offered me a 1-year contract to go on tour with them. And before I started actually doing professional wrestling, I did many years amateur wrestling, or I think you say amateur wrestling, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's amateur wrestling, yes. And also I did competitive swimming and competitive weightlifting, all kind of stuff. And of course, my dad trained me for many, many years. I think the first time I went into the ring, I was like a baby when I was crawling around and stuff like that. And what's very important, it always was my free decision to learn that sport. I never got pressure or anything like that.
Obviously you go to WCW when you were like 19, and you must have been one of those, like, there's always one kid in every high school that looks like a full-grown man when they're like 12. I
Right.
take it you were just like, were you like 6'3" or whatever you were, and just
I
fully muscled up?
Well, I always was one of the tallest. Yeah, that's true. And I always was very far in my how you say
Development.
yes, exactly, development. Yeah.
Going back to the tent tours, did you actually ever wrestle Otto? And can you talk about how the tent tours were set up, how many weeks you'd be in a certain town, and how many months off would you get?
Actually, I never got to wrestle Big Otto.
No.
Very sad, because I really would like to wrestle him, because he was such a great guy, such a nice guy. And I mean, all those guys back in the day, they see me grew up and stuff like that. So they were like a big family, In Europe, CWA, they traveled, they had shows in Austria and in Germany. And in every city, you were staying like a few days to several weeks. And it was just, through the day, you did your stuff, what you had to do, yeah, and when training or whatever, and at night you had to be at the building, and then they had tournaments going on, like in Vienna, big tournament, I think was it 6 weeks or 2 months, something like that. Very, very famous place, the Heumarkt, open air. So yeah, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Actually, I enjoyed it more than the traveling every day in the States, because it's much more stressful.
Yeah.
In the States,
I went to Vienna in April. So is it the big carnival, sort of at the top of the city? The big
no,
the
not the
big theme
Prada.
park.
No, not the Prada. No, it's in the city. It's like a ice, how you say, ice stadium, where we could, like in New York, when it's wintertime, you can ice skate.
Right.
That's it. That's like that in the summertime, just without the ice. And then it was a big tent and stuff like that.
But you did wrestle Fit Finlay.
I wrestled Fit Finlay. He was one of my few first opponents. Yeah.
And
he was
everybody's got
very tough guy. Yeah. Very, very tough and very solid working. Yes. But I was used to it. I mean, my dad taught me that way to work very solid. And I remember a time I wrestled in Hanover it was also a tent show, and it was a tournament for, I think, was it like 6 weeks also. But anyway, I wrestled Fit, and in the first round, I think he knocked me out by accident. And I went back in the corner to my dad and said, oh, he knocked me out, and he said, get up, just keep wrestling. I said, oh man. Yeah. I was like 16, 17 years old. Yeah. But it makes it tough for the business. Yeah. It prepares you for the coming shows and matches.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, because you are the son of a famous wrestler, nobody took it easy on you because you were the son of a famous wrestler, basically.
Exactly. I
Mm.
mean, the expectation was really high. Was a lot of pressure. What I put on myself because I didn't want to disappoint my dad, and I didn't want to disappoint the fans and myself, of course.
Mm.
So yeah, a lot of guys tested me. That's true.
Um, Anybody else you want to mention who may have tested you to see where you were at?
There's a long list, because when I started, I was one of the youngest wrestlers in Europe, and even when I went to the States, then at the age of 18, I was, my colleagues there. The youngest colleague I had was Marcus Bagwell. He was like 25 at that time, still 6 or 7 years older than me, and everybody else was 30 and up. So in the States, you're a fully adult at the age of 21. And I was a foreigner and I was a German guy. So yeah, not very sympathetic to all the people there.